how can we build bulletproof, injury prevention, springy ankles with no equipment? We got a wall. The biggest thing to start with is mobility. If we're an athlete that is going to cut or jump, or just a functional person who wants to be able to sit comfortably, play with their kids, whatever they need to do, sit in these positions. The biggest thing to start with is some mobility aspects, getting yourself comfortable getting into deep ranges with the ankle, right? Because if we don't fix a strong and mobile foot, everything up the chain from the knee, the hip, the back is going to have issues. So 2 things that we can work on as complete beginners is a Seiza tib stretch. So what we want to think about is basically sitting on the heels. We're just going to bring our heels facing away from us. So basically turning them out wide. And we're sitting in this position. And if this is too much, we're basically pulsing back into that position. Our chest flat, leaning back. Just being really strong here. Spending time in this position. What you can also do is alternating single leg Seiza squats. So driving off of your toe and getting into a squat single leg here. So you can see Boyo going. His heel is away from him and his butt is in as he's going up and down. So this is going to really train, if the ankle were to ever twist and get into that position, it's going to actually strengthen that area right there. Okay? The next thing that we can work on is a big toe stretch, which is going to open up the actual Achilles and the fascia underneath the foot. So we're here, heels are still out, and we're just loading the big toe. The big thing that we need to think about is really opening up the fascia of the foot. So if you guys can see his feet right now, we really want to open up from the heel all the way down to the knuckles of the feet. Yes, you have knuckles in your feet. And he's making sure that each individual toe is touching the ground, and we're really pulling on that area, sinking back into it. And because his heels are out, keep the chest high, arch the back. This is going to feel a deep stretch all the way into his knee. So again, when you start opening up the ankle and the foot, getting it mobile, you're going to feel it up to the knee, you're going to feel it up to the hip. Because it's what you walk on. It's your foot, right? So these 2 movements are going to be massively beneficial there. Now, how do we gain strength in the area? Bend knee calf raise and tib raise. 2 of the staple movements that we've used with every single athlete that's ever came into the gym. Super strong. The biggest correlation side to side is a bent knee calf raise. How strong is your soleus muscle, right? Yep. It's the muscle that twitches first when you're sprinting side to side, okay? And most athletes don't necessarily train it a lot, and that's a big reason for Achilles injuries. So let's get on a wall, right? Bend the knees, okay? We're going to start with double leg. The key thing that we want to think about here is a toe in, knee out concept. We don't want to use the wall for any assistance. We want to lean back and put our hips back. Hips further back. Good. We want the ratio from our butt to our ankle to be even, like a straight line down. Now he's going to come up and bring a calf raise, but you see how his knees stay bent. That's how it should look. And then you can control the way back down until you feel that slight Achilles stretch in the bottom. He wants to keep his knees out, hips back, kind of a hinge. Good. And then come up. Boom. And then control the way back down. And get wide with your knees. Come up. Boom. Control back down. Now, we can work this single leg as well. Let's try a single leg. Nothing changes. The knee is slightly flared out. So if you want to see from this angle, knee is slightly flared out. Come up. And control the way back down. Now, for most athletes, if you're going to get 10 reps with just this movement alone, your ankle, if you've never done it before, is going to be absolutely smashed. The lower calf, this area right here, is going to be super strong and under tension, super fatigued, but you know that you're going to be putting in literally just money into the bank for developing a strong foot, developing a bulletproof foot. Right? We always want to make sure we're training both sides, so get the same amount of reps on both sides. I'm going to get some reps here so you guys can see a different angle. I'm here, right? My hip is back, my chest is high, my hip is aligned with my ankle. Boom, and then fight back down to that stretch position. My knee is wide, as you can see. Boom. I'm here, knee wide, raise, control back down, here. Boom. So now, after we've trained the backside, we're going to train the front side with the same intent. This is called structural balance. As an athlete, as a strength coach, as a parent, if you just want to understand how to get a stronger ankle for your kid or maybe for yourself, train the backside, calf raise, train the front side, tib raise. Lift your toes up in the air with your hips against the wall. It's that simple. Lock out your quads, bring your toes slightly in. As you raise your toes, bring your pinkies to the sky. Think about pinkies to the sky and control the way back down. If your feet are further out in front of you, it's difficult. But if you bring your feet closer, it becomes easier. So find that happy medium. Raise as high as you can and control back down. As you guys can see, this muscle right here that's contracting, this is the first muscle that contracts if I'm going to land in a specific position between sides. If I go here and bring my heel first into the ground, that's the first muscle that contracts. And so all we're doing is training the front side of it, which is literally the opposite muscle that wraps around the ankle, that connects to the foot, that goes all the way up to the knee. That's going to put money in the bank for building a strong and functional bulletproof ankle. Hitting a set of 20 reps body weight is going to absolutely slam your lower legs. Literally just body weight. Sounds crazy. We're getting real strong in the ankle just in this video alone. After we've developed strength and mobility, the next principle that we like to get into is plyometrics. But you want to think about becoming springy, not just jumping and landing poorly. And so this is why we talk about this toe in, knee out concept. If you watch the Maasai tribe right here, this is how they land. This is how they're very, very springy. They land into the ground and they're already coming back up. And it's almost like a spring. It's like a spiral. How it should look is, let's just say this is the ground, right? And this is my foot. This is how it should look. Boom, boom, boom. And how do we get to that point, right? Because we don't want to, right? Everybody talks about the ground contact time has got to be better and better and better and shorter and shorter and shorter. But the key thing is we have to build a strong and functional arch of your foot to be able to land and build up that shock to be able to not have the ankle drop. It should be stiff, stiff, stiff. So, toes in, knees out, and I just want you to think about a very, very, very light plyometric with that concept. So you see my toes in, you see my knees out. But I want you to think about zero drop, weak drop with the ankle with these reps. So I'm here, and I'm thinking about almost being loud and pulsing into the ground. So if you're an athlete watching this, it's so simple. Let's see it, Boyle. So toe in, knee out. Yep. And he's just going to start being strong. And I want him to get louder and louder and louder, hitting the floor. And I want you to turn this way. And I want you guys to see if his ankle is dropping too much. He's not at all hitting my hand. And so that's the stiffness that I'm talking about. That's what you want to get to. So I'm going to show an example of what it looks like as you build up the capacity to be able to get to more of an advanced level where you're able to spring high without the ankle ever dropping. You guys can tell whether or not I completely dropped my ankle. If it was springy, that's how you build true springiness. You don't just want to go from that to what I just did. You want to build up that capacity. If that's here, then it's there. If it's still here, work there. But understand this toe in, knee out concept, and I promise you, you'll notice the difference in spring. Think about strong arches of your foot. All of these combined is going to build you a bulletproof foot overall. If you guys want to learn more in terms of how to build a bulletproof Achilles, a bulletproof ankle, be strong and more athletic, we got the PAP training system, the app coming out on the App Store. Go hit the link in the description. Get on the app, get trained, get your form coached. Best training system out there on the planet. We're coming for all athletes. Stay locked in.